Yo, it's Average Aardvark, and welcome back. Today we're talking about Super People. It's a new game in early access right now. You can request to be let in to the early access playtest, and I suggest you give it a try if there's still room. Hop in, give it a shot. It's free to play. I think it's going to be free to play when it comes out as well. If it's not, then all is lost. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It's basically PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, PUBG 2.0. I'm not sure if the developers, want that label, but that's what they're getting because it's very much the same game with a few new designs. So some things that are different. Obviously, every battle royale game has to have their own version of the storm or the gas, whatever you want to call it. So in this game, it's a frost. I've only been in it once, and it does hurt you, obviously. So there's that. There are specialists in this game. You can choose a character, kind of like Apex, where everybody's got their own abilities and ultimate. You can use the specialists to create ways to push other people or just kill them outright. So that's a cool addition. I'm not sure if they're really balanced very well yet. Some of them are obviously pretty OP and some of them are kind of eh. It's a little ambitious for them to be adding there's like 20 different ones. But hey, early access, so I'm not really gonna judge it on the balance of all the weapons and specialists just yet, since it is early access. What I was surprised by though is actually how good this game looks. I mean, it's probably not going to win any graphics awards. I'm not saying it looks great in terms of the ambient occlusion, the photorealism, all the fancy, shader things. But what I look for in a battle royale game, any PvP game really, is the visibility and the color palette. As you can see, it's nice and bright, which instantly is like a check in the little visibility box for me. It's nice and bright. The players, by contrast, are dark-ish from far away. When they do get a little farther away, they end up being kind of blurry and kind of like phasing in and out, which I'm sure that they'll fix that by the time this comes out. But overall, the visibility is really, really good. It's way better than Warzone. It might even be better than Apex Legends. And I think that's just by virtue of there's not much on the map. When you're in the little towns, it can get dense, but there's a lot most of the map is just it's kind of like PUBG was. They made sure that there was cover in the form of rocks and little ruined buildings and things. So they've struck a really good balance of there's actually cover, you're not just fighting in an open field, but you can also see fairly far into the distance. So another awesome thing that they have integrated into this game is the player customization. And I don't know how it's going to work when the game comes out. Right now, you can't buy anything. I mean, it's a free-to-play game. I'm sure there's going to be some cosmetic microtransactions. That's just how they're going to make money, which is fine. But as of right now, you have a lot of options. As you can see, I've got this like cyberpunk jacket. I'm pretty sure that was meant for a woman, but I like it, so it's going on. Yeah, I'm basically like cyberpunk lawyer, man. There's just lots of options, which I do enjoy. So yeah, the way the game basically works is just like any other battle royale. You drop in, you try to find guns, you find the attachments, and you put them on the guns, and you kill people until you're the last alive. Now, it's kind of a throwback in terms of the way it's played. Battle royales nowadays, like Warzone and Apex, they're really aggressive, and it's probably due in large part because you can buy your teammates back, or in Apex you can deliver their banner and get them back. Whereas in the older kind of PUBG era, there's no way of coming back. If you die, you die. There's no gulag, there's no buyback. So I enjoy that personally because it makes it so that each game holds a little bit more value. You're kind of committed, and if you die, you die. Basically, it makes you a little more conscious of what you're doing. It slows down the pace of the game. And this is kind of bringing back some of that high stakes flavor. It's got a really long TTK, which is good. Again, battle royales, you only get one shot. You need to be able to have the time to outmaneuver, outgun skill your opponent. And if the TTK is lightning fast, then it's not about who's better, then it's about who saw who first, and so on and so forth. There's one kind of major difference in the gameplay mechanics, I would say, where it might go a little overboard. So you have to craft stuff. Again, you can craft attachments, you can craft kind of abilities, and the more you craft armor, you craft backpacks. Now you can just find the good stuff on the ground, if you get the materials, you don't have to find it, you just craft it, which is fine. I'm all for that, but it's kind of a multi-layered crafting system where you can find the things that make the thing that you need to make the backpack rather than just finding the materials to make the backpack. I think they went a layer too far. I think it should just be one layer of crafting. I don't want to have to craft 3 things in order to get a backpack. The upside to that mechanic is that if you're like me and you're just the guy who just picks everything up off the floor, especially in a new game, I don't know what everything does, so I'm just going to pick it up. If you have all the materials for the backpack, let's say, and you're missing one, but you have these other materials to craft the thing that you need to craft the backpack, then you can do that. You know, so it adds like, it gives you different ways of doing things, and that maybe was their idea behind that, but I personally would just rather have it I'd rather have it simpler than complicated. As you can see, it's quite a cluttered inventory, and it works pretty similar to PUBG and like the Arma type thing where you're kind of clicking and dragging, and it's just overwhelming, and there's no way to there's no like bot mode or anything. There's no mode to the game where you can go in and just fix your stuff, test out controls. So you kind of just have to do it on the fly, which is something I think every game should have a little firing range at least, if not a versus bot mode. So along with the crafting, and you've got your crafting, you've got your specialists, and everybody has different abilities. So you can see on the right hand side, there's like a little grid. And so every time you upgrade yourself, I guess, you take these pills that you find. So everybody has different, like a little different power-up grid. And those are kind of your abilities or whatnot. I don't honestly have, I have no idea how any of it really works. It's really overwhelming. I'm sure after a while I would get the hang of it. So as a new player, it kind of sucks to have a really nuanced game, but that's just something where the more complicated a game is, if it's done right, then the longer you play it, the better you get at managing it, and then the more veteran you are, the more you appreciate all the nuanced aspects of the mechanics for the game, and that just gives the game some depth that is it's appreciated when you get good. I'm all for depth. I just want it to be as smooth as possible, and honestly, it's not a knock on the game at all. I just haven't had the time to actually delve myself that far in, so we'll see how that works out if I continue playing this game, which I might. It's kind of fun. Hopefully I can get some friends to hop on with me and we can run some squads. All the controls are customizable, which is a huge plus for me. They've even added like crosshair customization. I think there's even HUD adjustment options. So in terms of like how polished the game is already, I'm really impressed, and it shows a lot of promise. As we've learned from some unnamed AAA titles we've had recently, games don't always polish up like you hope they will, but this game is already more polished than a lot of AAA games I've seen come out. Makes me want to give them my playtime rather than some other AAA company that doesn't give a crap about their player base. So yeah, so the gameplay is pretty good. It's pretty similar to the PUBG style. You kind of want to have a long range gun on you. Yeah, the map is also huge, but you don't actually use the full map depending on what game mode you're in. So if you're in solos, it starts you off with a smaller portion of the map, and the map size is really good, honestly. It's not too big where you'll never see anybody the entire game, but it's also big enough where you don't feel like everywhere you move you're gonna get shot. The soundscape is really good in this game as well. You can pretty much tell where people are. I haven't noticed a lot of footstep sounds, you know, but I've never been surprised by anyone. Let's just say that. In like the few games that I've played, I've never been like, oh, there's a dude right behind me and I didn't have any idea he was there. Unlike some other AAA titles that will go unnamed. Warzone. But yeah, overall, there's not much bad to say about this game. It's looking pretty promising right now, and I'm excited for it to be released. I think it comes out in February next year. That could just be complete garbage. I just told you, I have no idea if that's true. The game also does have a dedicated first-person game mode. You can also select first-person matches, so that's really cool. That's something that I think it took PUBG a while to do that, and I think people really appreciated that they did that. I guess I would say this is a really good game, and you should definitely check it out. My 2 complaints are the specialist ultimate balancing, I guess I would say. It's kind of irrelevant because it is in an early access state, so this is kind of what this is for, to test this stuff. So I'm not really going to knock it on that. My only other complaint is the UI. is just way too much, especially like when you're in a fight, like the damage numbers, the kill feed that comes up in the center of the screen. You got the thing on the right that's got that like 3x3 grid of all these abilities and things. I'm just not sure if we need all this stuff on the screen. Yeah, this game gets an A+ from me. Just being in the state where you can actually see people and hear people. The map is decent, so I'm excited. Go try it out. Let me know what you think. If you've already tried it out, or if there's another game you want me to try out, let me know in the comments. Hopefully I didn't miss anything about this game. I'll update you guys as I continue to play more of it, and let you know if they fix stuff or if I'm enjoying it still after a longer playtime experience. But that's all I have for now, so see you later.